important is storytelling? What are the key steps in positioning your brand? How do you balance the pressures of leadership and your personal life?
Working for yourself is life-changing.
So last week I posted on my LinkedIn saying I started the podcast 6 months ago. So I just wanted to say a quick thank you to you guys, to viewers, to guests that have come on the show, to people that have followed the show from 6 months ago, and to people that have helped me throughout my journey. This episode you're about to watch is slightly different to the rest. Normally I interview one entrepreneur. This time I interview 5. These 5 entrepreneurs share who they are, what their business is, what they do, and any advice for anyone that wants to follow a similar path to themselves. The first guest up is Zandy Cohen.
So I'm a family lawyer. I specialise mainly in divorce and children. I spent 10 years at a bigger firm in Jersey, trained by a very influential family lawyer. So I got the best training, and then recently in March I decided to set up on my own.
Zandy, thank you for coming on, and nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
My first question is, what is the biggest challenge of building credibility and a client base in a competitive traditional market, do you think?
So, one of the biggest challenges I found is I wanted to communicate a brand that was colourful, human, traditional, but in some aspects non-traditional. So lawyers are usually suited and booted. We have to go to court all the time. And I have to find that balance of showing my personality, which is a bit quirky and colourful, and also remaining professional and complying with court dress codes, carrying myself in a traditional way when I need to. So I think the biggest challenge was communicating that brand, but also remaining professional and keeping my, sticking with my reputation.
Okay, that's interesting. And then my second one is, how do you balance the pressures of leadership and your personal life?
When you set up a business, it becomes your whole life. So you work 7 days a week, 24 hours. So it's more about developing coping mechanisms, I think. So one of the things I do is I have a personal trainer twice a week, best personal trainer in Jersey. He's called Sam Rowland. And so I see him twice a week. He puts me through my paces, and that really helps. I do a lot of walking. I'm a big family girl, so I'm one of 4 children, and my mum's a foster carer. Wow, okay. So we're all really close. So I spend a lot of time with them. Yeah. And then I've got a close-knit group of friends who also help me. But I think it's more about finding those coping mechanisms rather than, right, I need Monday to Friday and then I'm going to have the weekend off. Yeah. It doesn't really work like that when you work for yourself. Yeah.
And do you prefer working 7 days a week, working for yourself, or do you prefer 5 days a week, like you said, have a weekend?
So with the nature of the work I do, there's lulls, so it goes a bit like that. Right. So sometimes I will have a weekend where I have to work all weekend, but then I'll have a Thursday where actually I don't need to work. So it gives me more flexibility. Yeah. So I can plan days off that suit me better rather than the standard Monday to Friday 9 to 5.
Okay. And then my third question, any secrets to how you build and maintain trust with your clients?
So the first thing is building your reputation. Okay. So I spent 10 years building my reputation, and only now have I recently sort of brought my personality into my work, because you've got to do it really carefully, I think. Yeah. So, and then the next thing is when you have those clients, I don't treat them just as clients. So I nurture my relationships with my clients in the same way that I do my personal relationships. So I look after my clients, I look after the relationship, obviously with boundaries. There has to be boundaries in place, but I try and build a friendship with my clients, but obviously with those boundaries in place. So they are someone that trusts you, they trust you with anything that they want to tell you, and they know that they can rely on you. With the nature of the work I do is clients are they can be very vulnerable, they can be very avoidant, So it's knowing whether they're going to be a vulnerable client, getting to know them, knowing whether they're going to be avoidant and not want a lot of contact. Yeah. And then you adjust your way of dealing with the case by getting to know that client. Yeah. So if I've got a vulnerable client, I'll be contacting them more often, checking in, welfare checks, that sort of thing. Yeah. Whereas clients that don't want to be contacted at all, I just leave them to it and contact them when I need to. Right, okay.
It's interesting because I've never thought about, because I don't know this industry as well, this sector. It's interesting to hear that you need to balance your like colourful self and I found that really interesting.
Yeah, one of the most important things is, you know, when you go to court, you know, it's a traditional process. So the dress code is a black suit or a blue suit. Yeah. You know, in the royal court, you're gowned. So you have to carry yourself in a really professional way. And I always do my work in a really professional way as well. I just like to add a bit of colour. Yeah. So it's just important that, you know, when you are putting yourself in court, you are carrying your own personality, but you are also complying with all the traditional aspects of court dress code and being respectful to the court.
And that's all my questions for you, all 3 questions. I want to let viewers know that you have to get to the airport in like an hour or so. So thank you for coming on, even short notice as well.
I'm getting the newest member of my team, a little puppy. So she'll be introduced on my Instagram next week.
Yeah, good. But just want to say thank you for fitting me in, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I run Match Hampers. It's a gift service. I personalise gifts and I make hampers. Not your traditional food and drink hampers. Hampers for all occasions, babies, birthdays, new home, wedding, anything.
Hannah, good to see you again. You okay?
Hi Harvey, all good.
I've got 3 questions for you. My first question is, what inspired the idea of Match Hampers? Was there a specific moment of experience that sparked the concept of personalised gifting?
Sure, so I'm going to take you back to 2020, when I met my now husband, and he lifted every ceiling I'd put on my life, basically, and planted that seed of us being entrepreneurs. I'd never imagined myself running a business, but I thought, yeah, let's go for it. So we started thinking about what we could do as a business, looking at our skills, experience, and as a passion, I do a lot of scrapbooking. So then we thought about when a scrapbook could be gifted. Obviously, for a wedding, you know, as a guest book for people to sign in. I've done one for a baptism and everyone signed it for that. But there were so many other occasions we came up with. And then it was thinking about, okay, so what could we gift with the scrapbook? So starting that idea of a collection of gifts together. Right. Then came the idea of the containers. So we don't have necessarily your traditional wicker basket. Okay. We do have a range of baskets. But then we thought about different bags and buckets, and basically a container being another product that then the other products sit inside. Right, okay, yeah. And we went for it with different ideas for these containers. And then the final stage of it was, I said to my husband, if we're going to go down gifting, I'm doing personalisation. Yeah. That was a no-brainer. Yeah. So then we went into looking at machines for personalisation as well.
And my second one is, how important is storytelling in your branding, making every hamper feel more than just a product, but more of like an experience?
I love the word experience in that question, and that's definitely where I'm building. I'm trying to elevate the gifting experience in Jersey. And I mean, apart from one example where a recipient received a wash bag and I'd put her name on the wash bag, and then she had no idea that there were extra products inside because it was all wrapped up. That was a lovely experience for her. But apart from that, the other examples I've got is about more of the giver. And it's about facilitating their experience. So I don't know how many gifts you've given in your life, but when you find the right present for that person, there's just that element of joy, and you're so proud and excited to give that gift over. I did a workshop last week, and the idea was to teach people how to work out what were the right gifts to buy people for Christmas. So we looked at kind of who was on their list for Christmas and ideas for each person. Everyone went away feeling so prepared to go out and do their Christmas shopping. But the main thing was giving them that time to think about people and to think about what's important in their lives, and what they would want as a gift. Another example is a couple met me at a pop-up. So I do lots of pop-ups in town, and they came looking for a birthday present. And it was a man and a woman. And the man was very standoffish at first. He was like, oh no, you sort it out, you deal with this. He was clearly done and wanted to get out of town again. And so the woman came round and she chose the right container and she chose the first product. And during this time, the man was looking around at the other products as well. Well, next minute he was getting right stuck in. And I just love that I was able to facilitate that experience, and the two of them were building this hamper together. And you know, she was looking at a particular product and he was like, oh no, I'll choose which one. And suddenly he was getting right stuck in. And then it ended with them having a debate as to, right, well, she likes that one, he likes that one. And I was just stood there watching this all happen, and to just facilitate that experience that they were building that together was just incredible. Yeah.
And my third one, can you share a mistake early on that ended up being a valuable lesson, and how did it shape how you run your business now?
Good question. So as I said in the beginning, I decided that personalisation was a route that I really wanted to go down. So I started with machines for vinyl, being able to heat press, for example, and also permanent vinyl. I then made contact with a company that did the embroidery. Okay. So I started outsourcing embroidery to this company for specific products that didn't lend themselves to be heat pressed. So I thought that was a good stage in my business to start outsourcing. However, it was taking a lot of time to get the items back from them. There were mistakes made by the company. Quality control clearly wasn't there. And I tried and I gave them a lot of time and opportunity, and I just decided that actually I need to cut ties with this because it's not healthy. But what that meant was I then had a decision to make. Do I just stick with the vinyl, or actually I really like the embroidery, it's really good quality, can I take this on myself? So I did. I went and bought the machine, which was a big outlay. It's a big cost to set up for a big machine like that. But it actually meant that, one, I didn't have to deal with this other company and I could do it all myself. And two, because I had the machine now, I wasn't just outsourcing single items. I was now doing so many more products were now being embroidered. So bath towels, for example, I'm never going to put vinyl on a bath towel because that's just going to peel off in the first wash. But I then could take on bath towels and embroider bath towels, and that worked. So a mistake being that, perhaps outsourcing to the wrong company meant that it propelled my personalisation incredibly further than I could imagine because I had chosen to take it on myself.
And that's all my questions for you. But thank you so much for coming on. You can tell that you're very passionate about what you do as well, and I love that.
Thank you, Harvey. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
My name is Lawrence Slatter-Buenel. I run Vehicle Focus, which is a company that specialises in supercar management for high net worths, mainly in the UK, Jersey, Europe.
Lawrence, thank you for coming on. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, thanks, Harvey. It's a pleasure to come on here. Yeah.
I've got 3 questions for you. The first question is, what were the key steps in positioning your brand as a premium and earning the trust of clients who expect a high quality?
So when I started Vehicle Focus, I knew I didn't want to be just another car service. We really wanted to make sure that we're bringing something different to the market. These cars, they're financial assets really. They're more than just 4 wheels and some steel. So it was really important for us to position ourselves as stewardship and asset management, not just cleaning and storage, those sorts of things. For high-value clients, trust comes from detail and consistency, is what I've found. And it's the small things, it's condition reports, tyre checks, battery health logs. It's how I communicate, it's how I show up. It takes a long time to build that trust, but very quickly to lose it.
Yeah. And my second question, what is your advice for others wanting to turn their passion into a business but unsure if it is the right decision? Because obviously cars is your passion. What do you think?
Cars has always been my passion, and people do often say, don't make your passion your job.
Yeah.
My advice is start small and, and test it out.
Yeah.
If you think you've got an idea, start small, test it out, see what appetite there is. You're not going to lose anything but some time, and you'll learn so much along the way. All you need is a few customers, and you can prove your concept. You can tweak your concept. The concept we started with isn't the same concept we have now. We've evolved as we've gone on.
Yeah.
Don't try to be everything to everyone, is another piece of advice I'd give. Really stick to your niche, and don't be afraid of saying no.
And my third one, what does success mean to you personally, and has that definition changed since you started your business, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first started, it was all about what the clientele had, what cars we were working with, what we were getting paid, those sorts of things. It was very superficial. Now it really has changed. It's about building trust, reputation. That has been a success in itself. It's been really important to us. But also it's the freedom that we have. It's managing your own time. It's dealing with clients. It really has changed from that superficial level to something much, much deeper. About being useful, trusted, and again, that control of your time. It's huge.
Yeah. Well, that's all my questions for you. Cool. Thank you very much for coming on.
No, thank you.
Very interesting. Thank you.
My name is Lucie. I've got a French last name, which is Gatignol-Duval. I just created a micro bakery, which is called Lucie's Boulange. What I do is that I make authentic French bakes. I also run classes, baking classes, which can be private, on people's own, or also groups workshops on the farm I'm located.
So, Lucie, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. You okay?
I'm good, thank you.
Ready?
Yes.
So, for any viewers that have clicked on this video, could you explain who you are, what you do, what your business is?
So everything I do is handcraft, and I choose my ingredient responsibly, focus on Jersey, seasonal, traditional produce, because I want to highlight the producer and the artisan area from the island. So yeah, as I said, I'm located in a farm, and they are growing cereals, and they are milling the flour on site, and then just using this flour to bake, which is quite unique in Jersey, because I'm the only one using locally grown flour.
Yeah. And do you enjoy what you do?
Yes, a lot.
So I've got 3 questions for you. The first one is, you not only switch careers, but also countries, France to Jersey. What inspired your move from France to Jersey, and how did it shape your journey, do you think?
Yes, so well, as you said, I switched career because before becoming a baker, I was working as an art registrar, which is, so basically that's the person in the museum who is handling the pieces of art, who makes everything go smoothly for them, that they are stored properly, handled properly. So I was really committed to my career. I've done A-level, specialized in art and literature, then I went to the university and I studied art, history and archaeology, and then specialized in museum logistics. So yeah, I spent for many years lots of my energy to achieving my goals, and I just managed to be recruited aboard into, which was at that time my dream museum, into my perfect job position. But what happened is that when I had this dream job opportunity, I just quit my job. Wow. Yes. So basically, at that time, my husband was in Brittany. He was finishing his PhD, and I just decided that I will go back to Brittany and start a vocational school in bakery. But as you've seen, I already worked abroad in Luxembourg. When I studied, I learned foreign languages. I was always interested in traveling and always making on thought that I will do internship in foreign countries during my all university years, which is 7 in total, so lots of internships. And I also studied Japanese and Breton art. Wow. So always been curious about discovering things. And what happened is that when my husband had his job opportunity in Jersey, we, of course, thought about that really carefully. We even went for a week on the island to visit, to meet his bosses, and also for me to meet some bakery owners that I applied to. Right, okay. Just to be sure that it would be a good decision. Yeah. So basically we moved during COVID and just after Brexit. Wow. So it was really difficult, lots of paperwork, and we had to leave everything we built behind us in France. So we really needed to be motivated. Yeah. And so moving to Jersey was like a big step in my life, but something new. Because I always loved the sea, visiting islands where I could over the world. Yeah. But it's like I could not, imagine one day moving on an island which is just 30 miles away from my previous home. Yeah. But it's really different from France. Jersey is quite unique, and people in France, they don't often realize how different it can be, right, even if it's just next door. Yeah. So you have to be flexible, adaptable, and also open-minded to make it work like your home. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm building now with my bakery is just a perfect mix of everything I've done before. And Jersey just appears to be the perfect place for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like, at some point I was just feeling that all the stars have been aligned. Yeah, that's good. And so even if my bakery is really French, products are French, it's also a tribute to Jersey, to its history, its heritage and its communities. Yeah. Just a big thank you. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then my third and final question is, what was going through your head / what was the process when leaving your museum logistic role to starting your own bakery?
So basically, I think it was one of the hardest decisions in my life. But what helped me is that I just prepared myself. I was feeling that something, was going down. I wasn't motivated as I used to be in my previous job position. So it's risky to do it, but I just plan everything in advance, organize myself, plan the change, think it through, to make it work. And also I think I've been quite driven by the fact that when I turned 18, I have been diagnosed with autoimmune blood disease. Well, okay. So I was away from my parents. I just moved in another city to start my uni. Yeah. And during a winter night, I went to the A&E, and they just said that, okay, you will have this disease for the rest of your life, and it can always eat you back. Wow. And it did last year. Right, okay. So it's just, it makes me realize that life is not straightforward. So if you want to do something, just do it and make everything which will help you to achieve your goal. Yeah. When I was preparing everything in advance, I was also anticipating the challenges. So I was, in a sort, increasing my chance of success. So also I had to learn a lot, because when you restart everything, you have also to admit that you don't know anything anymore. So it's quite also difficult to live with doubt. And also you think about what people will think. So some of them could not understand, some of them could not believe that I will do it, and there are still some people who keep asking me when I will be back to museums. And also there is a financial side of it, which is risky. But as I said, if you prepare things in advance, you make it less risky. What happened to me is that I was, when I lost my job, I was under income support, and I was also working part-time in different bakeries. So in that sort, I was trying the role to see if it will fit me before, getting the big steps. And I also worked part-time in farm shops. I was selling the bread, and I've done an apprenticeship, which is, I think, the perfect way of switching career, because you are both learning on your job and also earning money. So it makes it a bit less risky. Also, so when you change your job, you don't fit into a standard box anymore, especially into the catering world, and in France, because it's either a family story or it's a vocation. So people in France start those kind of job when they turn 14. So when you go back to school and you are almost 30, then it's like you have to prove something. You have to gain credibility, and especially when you are a woman in a mostly male industry. But if you change your career and then you start running your own business, it's like you can build a mold where you fit in. So you can make it works for you, that it fits, to your goals, to your routine, your values. And I think that's also why having experience before in another field will help you just being successful.
And that's all my questions for you.
Perfect.
But thank you so much for coming on.
Yes,
I've loved it. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to express ourselves.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, David, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. For any viewer that has clicked on this video, could you explain who you are, what you do, what your business is?
Right, so thank you, Harvey, for this opportunity. My name is David Hully. I have a portfolio career right now, so I sit on the boards of some insurance companies. I'm involved with consulting in this space as well. So I work with a group called Risk CWC, and we provide a lot of work for large Fortune 500 companies, but also managing general agencies and others to help them look at the strategy for their insurance companies or subsidiaries. And we do feasibility work, we do operational reviews, we do a number of other things there. And outside of that, I also have some startup ventures, especially here in Jersey. So most recently I'm working on a new tech venture, and I've got a collaboration agreement with Ish Solutions to develop something more on that later as we get through.
So I've got 3 questions for you. My first one is, so you have built value in consultancy and non-executive roles during your career. What entrepreneurial lessons have you learned that apply outside the classic startup model, do you think?
Well, I mean, the things that I've learned is just the importance of the dedicated team, having people who are serious and who are going to deliver. The second thing is don't underestimate the value of momentum and keeping that rolling. And the third thing is like you need to make sure you're talking to the right people when you're doing the marketing. The people that you want to engage with, you need to make sure that they've got the money to pay for what they want to do or what they want to buy. You need to make sure they've got a mandate from their organization. And you need to make sure that they've got the underlying information and the basics to actually move forward.
And my second one, what Jersey venture are you working on now? You mentioned tech.
Yeah, so right now I'm focusing on a new build, call it board tech as a general category. Specifically, the working title is the INED, which stands for Independent Non-Executive Director AI tool. And it's basically the heart of the collaboration that I'm doing with East Group. I started this as a proof of concept that I developed through Digital Jersey, basically programming in Python, but also utilizing a home-based or office-based AI server that I was able to build from various different parts, and also utilizing the large household name online AI tools through various different API engagements.
And my third one, how do you think AI, automation and other tech will change how boards of directors operate, do you think?
Well, I think it's effectively over time going to increase the legal expectations of a board member. If we go back, say, 20 years ago, the expectation is just that you would have read the board pack. Now I would say a board member, especially an independent board member, is expected to do a certain amount of investigation and comparing things. And so that a few years ago, that might have been satisfied with a Google search or calling around and asking about certain questions. Going forward, because the tools are here now to do a much more comprehensive job. And so I think the legal standard and the shareholder expectations are going to grow. And part of that growing is going to be like, okay, what is prudent? What is due diligence now? And how have you documented that? So going back and just saying, well, I printed out a board pack or the draft of the annual filing, and I highlighted the things I thought was interesting, just isn't going to cut it. What it's going to expect is that you will use the tools available to you to do the research, to do the regulatory checks, to do the financial analysis, and you will have documented that. And so an AI tool is ideal, but maybe even a prerequisite, at some point in the reasonable medium term. I'm also working on a film about the local notary Philippe de Verne, and a documentary of what happened in Jersey during the Napoleonic Wars. So very exciting times with piracy, spies, all of it being run out of Gory Castle. And we have like a humongous amount of progress that we've made on this film. So we were able to get our teaser reel into the Jersey International Film Festival, also known as the 13th Film Festival, early this year. And we're going to see what we can do to interest some production companies and potentially taking it forward.
Yeah. And when did you start that? How long was it?
Sometime last year.
Right, okay. Enjoying it?
It's quite good, yes. The next step's obviously is a big step between having a project to a commercial venture. And so we're exploring what we could do with this.
And that's all the time?
Okay, that's our time.
Thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.